Been out to eat in DC lately, you've probably seen those new fees on your bills, right? And they're kind of confusing, like what's a service fee? Is it a tip? How about the COVID fee? Our Casey Nolan is live in Northwest DC tonight. And Casey, we know DC's Attorney General is trying to clear things up just a bit. He put out some new guidance for those restaurants to follow, right?
Yeah, that's right, Zoe. You know, from wages for restaurant workers going up to other costs going up, a lot of restaurants have started adding fees. The AG says that's fine as long as they are transparent. A lot of DC diners have noticed something new on their bills.
I think there's more service charges added lately.
Charges separate from the food tax and tip. Last year, DC voters passed Initiative 82, which over time requires restaurants to pay tipped employees the full minimum wage. When that increase started in the spring, fees followed at some establishments, and others have added fees to cover COVID-related costs.
It is important that they let you know, even like before you order, I would think. Instead of you order and then you get your check and you say, what is all this?
Wednesday, DC's Attorney General said his office is still getting calls from customers confused by restaurant fees.
Not only frustrating to the consumers who are eating at restaurants, sometimes this confusion can hurt workers because a confusing fee, a service fee that a diner doesn't understand could result in a lower tip or no tip at all.
The AG's office put out examples of how restaurants must explain charges up front to comply with consumer protection laws.
They're free to price their services and their goods in any way they want. What the law requires is those charges be made transparent, clear, and given to the consumer in advance of making a buying choice.
I'm happy to pay extra fees to, support the restaurant workers and make sure they get a fair wage.
It's not cheap to go to a lot of these restaurants. You got tables on tables. Why don't you just pay these people a living wage from the beginning?
So what do the restaurants think? Well, the president of the Restaurant Association for DC says they're on board. He says they've actually been asking for some guidance on how to comply with the law when they're adding fees. The AG's office says, so if you feel like a restaurant is trying to sneak a fee past you, call the AG's office.
Yeah, this is all new, and we're trying to work through it together. All right, Casey, thank you. Hopefully this